Good morning. Thursday, off to work, as usual. Time for a chat. Now, today I want to talk about something a bit different than some of the other things that we've discussed. I just got out of my drive without having to wait this morning. That's an impressive feat in itself. Deities. Deities in D&D have been handled so many different ways, and it's changed so much through the years, the way people look at them. And this might end up being a short video because there might not end up being that much to say on them, but I just thought it was worth, well, I'm doing some work for my Monday game, and it's been on my mind. So yeah, deities. How do you handle them in your games? Are they kind of distant, nameless powers that don't really interact at all? I mean, yeah, clerics say their name and get spells, and that's kind of the beginning and end of it. You know, there's really no other interaction with them. Are the deities active in the world? Are they doing something? Are they trying to accomplish goals? Are they somewhere in between? Is there more than one group of deities that don't necessarily agree with each other, that are vying for attention? And any of them can work. You know, fine. Yeah, let's go with that. Any of them can work. But it changes the tone of your game. If the deities are nothing but names, then, to me at least, clerical magic is cheapened. Because so many of the powerful spells should be influenced by that deity. Now, by high level, I am talking about Wish and Geas and, well, Commune's not that high level, but I would still list it as one of these. Things that the personality of the spell changes based on who the deity is. In a distant world, one cleric casting that spell is going to get about the same response as another. But in a world where the deities are actively moving and working and doing, then the deity that you choose matters a lot more. Now, excuse me. Now, based on that, I am going to dip back into something that I've referenced time and time again, Dragonlance. Again, one of the very earliest D&D settings for books. One of the ones that, for a long time, had a huge influence and was where I started. I've talked about my origin, and I've talked about the fact that I played a little bit as I was young, and then I had a stretch of years where I didn't have a gaming group. When I didn't have a gaming group, the Dragonlance novels were my gaming group. That was how I got my D&D fix. And one of the things that I loved about those books was the deities were active. The deities were actually out doing things. And they were also flawed. They were not perfect beings. They were divinely powerful beings, but they weren't perfect. And they had ways of influencing the world that no one realized was them. I'll take a brilliant example of that. Someone that we meet very early in the Dragonlance books, that if you're not paying attention, you won't realize who you've actually met until much, much later. The Dragonlance books begin, and you have a group of friends who have traveled together for a while, an adventuring group, that 5 years ago decided to go their separate ways and investigate rumors. They're coming back together at an inn to meet, to catch up, to discuss. We know that's coming because that setup has already happened. And then we meet the bumbling old man. A wizard in white robes, long white beard, old, grumbling, mumbling to himself. He comes into the inn, starts looking around, and says, "Oh, no, this isn't right. That chair needs to be over there, and that chair needs to be over there closer to the fire." And he starts moving the inn around. And you're kind of thinking, what is this old guy talking about? And that's the reaction of the other characters in the book as well. The people working at the inn are going, I'm sorry, old man, are you throwing a party or something? And he just kind of gets on with it and moves things around. And then he goes off and he sits by the side of the fire. And then the adventurers start coming in, and they meet, and they greet each other, and they speak, and they welcome, and they talk. And then some things start happening. The adventurers meet some people that weren't part of their band, who are travelers, who seem to be suspicious, and who seem to be wary of what's going on. Some events transpire, and there is a moment where these new people, not the adventurers, but these other people, look like they're about to run for it. And just at that moment, the old man steps in and says something, or does something. I'm not going to be too specific, because I would love you to read the books. But he steps in and he does something, and all of a sudden, because of what has happened, now the adventurers are involved with these other two. And now they all are making a run for it. And you don't realize right away, unless you're really paying attention, that the old man has orchestrated this entire event to get those adventurers to travel with those two travelers. And it all seems kind of like a bumbling old man just doing things. And then later on, they get caught. And lo and behold, they get thrown into a cage, and the old man's there. Of course. And again, he's bumbling and he's forgetful, and there's a charming scene where he doesn't even remember his own name. And then he knows a spell that can get them all out of this cage, but he can't remember the words to it. And he just comes across as this pathetically senile old man. And then they escape, and then this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And, and they keep running into this bumbling old fool. And things keep trotting along towards this eventual goal. that none of them know what it is really. And then we eventually get to that fateful moment when good and evil are squaring off against each other. You know, Paladine, the great platinum dragon, the paladin of good. For anyone who's not familiar with Dragonlance, Bahamut. Alright, that's Paladine. Just, I won't explain why or how, but it is. Versus Takesis, the five-headed dragon of evil. Yeah. And we have this moment's realization as things start to occur, and you realize that that bumbling old senile man that's been showing up all along the way is Paladine. And it's just crazy. And that is a perfect example of an active god who no one even realizes is a god. That person is, I mean, Paladine is pictured as the young, strong paladin, the wise and the virtuous, and this person who knows all and sees all, and and yet he appears to people in a form that appears weak, frail, forgetful, flawed, because he knows he can learn a lot about how good a person is by how they treat a bumbling old man. If he showed up as a 25-year-old paladin with muscles everywhere, everyone's going to respect that, because he's a young, strong paladin. But what about all of the people who dismiss that senile old man and just say, oh, look, just get him away from me. He's rambling on. He's messing things up. He's nothing but trouble. Just get him away. And they're dismissing Paladine without realizing it. So that is a world with active gods. To me, that world is a lot more flavorful, a lot more interesting than a world with passive gods. The gods are there doing things. They are there getting mortals to do things. They are orchestrating events to make heroes happen. Now, I could keep going on this, so forget what I said earlier about it being a short topic, but I am going to go ahead and close it out for the day. I'm almost where I'm going. The video's getting a bit long already. So, yeah, if I said anything that made sense today, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow.